Good evening, everyone. My name is Jeff Scalen, America's Sports Magician. And I have a question. Your name is?
Linda.
And you are?
Carolyn.
And do you two catch on to things quickly?
Yeah.
Good. I like to
Yes.
hear that. The reason I ask is I have a little game of observation. It is performed with two very tiny footballs. Carolyn, would you please be so kind as to hold out your left hand? Nicely done. We're off to a good start. Carolyn, if I were to take one football into my hand, this one goes into yours. Squeeze it tightly. Question for you. If I could take my football, pass it into your hand, that would leave how many in mine?
0.
Nicely done. You're very good at the game. Of course, then you would have how many in yours?
2.
Check it out. Very well done. Now, Linda, I'm going to go a little easier on you. Are you ready?
goodness, yes.
Linda, look. One ball plus one ball equals.
2 balls.
And you say it so confidently. Remember, though, Linda, you are dealing with the magician. I have a tendency of cheating. It's actually 3, but it's a basketball. I'll give you another shot at this, no pun intended. Look, one ball plus one ball plus one ball. You're with me so far.
I think so.
This is where it gets a little tricky. Minus one football. That one goes inside the pocket. No calculators allowed. That leaves how many left in the hand?
2.
Nicely done. And that's exactly why Carolyn, she needs your help. Carolyn, do me a favor, hold out your left hand one more time. All 3 go into your hand. Squeeze those tightly. Let go of my finger. Put your hand right over here. Carolyn, if I did nothing from this point, how many would you say you have in your hand?
I have no idea. 3?
You don't believe that, do you?
I don't.
How many do you really think you have?
I don't know. It feels like 10.
10. Escalating the game. I can appreciate that. Do me a favor. Open your hand slowly. Yeah, let's have quite a few of that. Actually, 2, 3, 10. Actually, you had a total of 18. But
my goodness.
as I always say, 2, 3, 10, who's really counting, right?
Thought she was exaggerating.
She was.
All right. Now, I have a question. What is your name, sir?
Richard,
Richard. Richard, I do have a question. I think I know the answer, but I still have to ask. Do you play cards?
occasionally.
I thought so. I can always tell by the eyes.
Yeah.
You look like a card player.
Yeah, okay.
And it just so happens I have a bicycle deck of playing cards. Now, it is an ordinary deck. I do keep both jokers inside, so there are 54 cards, not 52. If you look closely, ladies, you can see since you're right here, you will notice that one joker is there and one joker is right over there. Don't want you to take my word for it, though. I would like for you to take the cards and shuffle them up.
Okay.
Mix them up. When you are done mixing up the cards and checking them out to make sure everything is on the up and up, as they say, cut off about half the deck for yourself. Give me the other half when you're done.
Half and half?
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Take your cards, spread them towards yourself. You will notice that you have lots of different cards to choose from. Find a card that either you like or find a card that you think is interesting. When you find that card, place it face down in front of you the same way I did with mine. Perfect. Take your cards, close them up, hold them in your hand just like that.
Okay.
Now, we're going to lose our 2 cards.
Okay.
I'm going to lose my card into your half, you're going to lose yours into mine. You do remember the name of your card.
Yes, I do.
Take your card, slide it right into the center of my half of the deck. Put it down a little bit there, like that. Okay. I will take mine. Oh. A little embarrassing if the magician forgot his own card. I will slide it right in there.
Recorded anyway.
Go ahead, push it all the way in, and then I'll take your half. Now, the reason I ask whether you played cards or not is because being a magician, I don't. People don't trust playing cards with magicians. But there is something I do that people find to be, well, shall we say, rather interesting. You know, the same way that coaches have to train their athletes, I train decks of playing cards. And this deck I have actually trained quite well. So well, in fact, I keep the cards covered. I also keep them covered because they're a little embarrassed in how talented they've become. But we each chose one card from the deck. I happen to choose the three of spades. What card did you choose?
4 hearts.
Watch. Four of hearts come out of the deck. Now.
Oh,
And four of hearts, turn yourself over and go back into the deck, and your card has been found. All we now need is my card, the three of spades. So same thing, three of spades come out of the deck. Now, turn yourself over and go back into the deck, and it's all done. Now, as strange as that may have looked, here's the real question. If what all of you just saw with that handkerchief, think about it. If our two cards really did come out of the deck, and then they turned themselves over, and then they went back into the deck, you know what that means, don't you? They'd be going in the opposite direction, exactly. And if you take a look, you'll see that is exactly what
oh my
happened.
Lord.
There are now only two cards face down in the deck. And one of those cards would be mine, the three of spades. The other one would be yours, the four of hearts.
Very good. That party coming up is so nice.
Now, I do have to admit, though, that many, many times when I perform card magic, particularly at private parties, there's always someone that comes up to me and says, boy, would I like to take you to Las Vegas. It's a nice thought. The truth is that magicians, we can lose money just as quickly and easily as anyone else. I only mention this because I know from personal experience. You see, doing card magic is very different from card cheating, and I'm going to show you all exactly what I mean. Now, in any deck of cards, whether it's because they're the highest cards or simply the most popular, it's the four aces that are always used, and that's not going to change. I will go through and I will remove each one of the four aces. There and there. Thank you very much, Linda. Now, there is ace number 1, ace number 2, ace number 3, and ace number 4. Obviously, before I go any further, please take a note. There are no other aces in the deck. That is very important. There's two of them in there, just like we had before. Okay? If there were more than four aces, that really would be cheating. If there were a way that I could secretly control these four cards in the deck, one would have a much better chance at winning. So I'm going to place each ace into a different part of the deck. Watch closely. Now you can see all four aces are going pretty evenly throughout the deck. Fair? What is your name, sir? Bill. Bill. Bill, if I were to take those cards and we were to give them a cut, a shuffle, and a little fancy cut just like that, the aces are now lost. But Bill, it's at this point that the card cheat. He needs to control those aces. And usually to the top or the bottom of the deck is the easiest way of doing it. Being a magician, I have no need to do that. In fact, if you look at the top of the deck, let's check it out and make sure. Are there any aces on top of the deck? No. No? Excellent. Let's check out the bottom as well. And it doesn't look like there are any aces on the bottom either. So now you must agree those aces really are somewhere in the center. The problem now is to find all four aces by magic. That's where I come in. The first ace I will attempt to find will be the ace of clubs. That ace will find my favorite way by simply spelling it out. Carolyn, would you hold out one?
Don't try to
Ace. Ace of clubs. A-C-E-O-F. Ace of. C-L-U-B-S. That spells out ace of clubs. You can turn that card over and, of course, show it that everyone is the ace number 1, the ace of clubs. Now, one thing I did notice. What is your name, sir?
Jim.
Jim, you didn't seem very impressed with that, but Jim, don't worry. There's always one in every crowd. Jim, for you, it takes something a little more magical to really make it look impressive. That's what I'm trying to do for you. You see, Jim, we're going to take the cards and we're going to give them a few cuts. And all looks pretty fair. But you know as well as I do, looks can be deceiving. So whatever you do, do not take your eye off the deck. Do you know what happens if you were to do that? One snap of the fingers, and just like that, there is ace number
Go.
2 and
Oh,
3 right
geez.
out of the deck. That means now there is only one more ace left to find. And Linda, that ace, of course, is the ace of spades, or as the gamblers call it, it is known as the bullet, the highest card in the deck. We have 2 piles of cards. You get to choose whichever pile, whichever one you point to is the one we will use.
God, I hope so.
Take the cards.
You smile too much.
No, just hold it face down. Turn your top card face up and show it to everyone. And you will see right there. Oh, Linda, this is the 7 of spades.
I realized that was a top card though.
Yeah, you messed up. No, I'm joking. Actually, you didn't. This is the 7 of spades. You know what this is? This is an indicator card. It means that if I were to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and go down to the 7th card from the top, Linda, that would give me the last and final ace.
Very good.
You're all right.
Am I breathing yet? I'm
Now,
not sure.
since I already have the 4 aces out, I thought we'd have a little fun by showing you one of the world's fastest pieces of magic. I can't claim that it's the fastest, but I can say it's one of the fastest. It is performed with the 4 aces and a few of my assistants. In this case, $4 half dollars.
They're kind of pretty.
They are, aren't they? And they're real. You can check them out.
I don't mean that. They're shiny. Don't I don't mean used or
Excuse
whatever.
me. Now, we have $4 half dollars. That one stays there, that one stays there, this one comes over here, and this one comes right over here. Nice and far apart from one another. I said that this is one of the world's fastest, but I can't claim it's the fastest, but you'll understand why in just a moment. My hands are empty. Watch closely. I can show you the 2 cards. I can show you the 1, 2 coins. 1, 2. Linda, you are watching closely.
Fine.
Good. Don't blink or you will miss it.
Oh.
2 cards, 2 coins, 2 and 1. Last time I checked, still does equal 3. What you really have to look out for is that one over there. One snap of the fingers, and just like that, it actually makes that coin leave and jump right over here with the other 3. One of the world's fastest pieces of magic. Now, I would like to see about closing up the show with one of my favorite pieces, because I love being America's sports magician. And one of my favorite things to do is I love to collect souvenirs of my favorite baseball team. And that is what I have done right here. You see, inside this little bag, I have a few little items. One is a pennant. Coming from Chicago, I am a huge Cubs fan.
Oh, yeah,
And thank
they
goodness they did win the World
Yes,
Series
they
this
did.
year. And Linda, you get to hold on to that. Because you know that if you go to a Cubs game or any sporting event where your team does something well, guess what? Everyone that has a pennant, they take it and they wave it.
Yes.
That's what your responsibility is going to be.
Yeah.
Carolyn, I also have a baseball bat. This is good for bunting, but not the long ball. But I did this very piece of magic 3 times for Harry Carey at a private party. He was so amazed and couldn't figure it out. He actually signed the bat for me. Holy cow, Harry Carey. It's very powerful, so please be very careful with it. Don't wave it around too quickly. We don't want people turning into frogs. Now, I also happen to have my little Chicago Cubs souvenir coffee mug, and more importantly, inside is a little tiny baseball. In fact, if you were to take a look, you can see there's actually an autograph on there. I don't know if you can tell who it is.
Bob Scanlon?
There you go. Nicely done. It is Bob Scanlon. Bob Scanlon was a pitcher for the Chicago Cubs from 1991 through 1993. It just so happens Bob Scanlon is also my cousin.
Oh.
And he said he never signed a ball this small before. Being 6'8" wasn't very easy. I do keep the ball inside the cup. My cousin said, Jeff, do you know that you doing magic and my playing baseball, we both have something very much in common. In both baseball and in magic, the name of the game is to always keep your eye on the ball. With that in mind, you have the pennant, you have the baseball bat. Everyone else gets to keep their eye on the ball. I will go easy the first time, but after that I get pretty tricky, so watch closely. See, if I were to take the ball out of the cup just like that, don't worry, I'm quick, but I'm not that quick. But if I were to take that ball, place it into my pocket, and ask you, Bob, where the ball is, you'd probably say it's inside of my pocket.
Yes.
And you would be right. But since you have the baseball bat, take the bat, tap the cup 3 times. Nicely done. One thing I didn't want to mention, though, this is not baseball. This really is magic. And now you can wave the pennant. There you go. Nicely done. Now, perhaps it was a bit too fast. I will slow things down. The ball goes back inside the cup. But if I went a little quicker, something like that. And Bill, if I were to ask you if the ball was in my pocket or underneath the cup, it's a little tougher this time. Where would you say?
On the cup.
Nicely done, Bill. That's why I am a trained professional. Don't worry about it. You're not the first, you're not the last that's ever going to miss it. Take the bat, tap the cup 3 times. See, in baseball, we know it's 3 strikes and you're out. You know what that means? It means the ball's out of my pocket. Guess where it is?
Across the room.
No, actually, it's right under the cup, right where it should be. That's right. Look, the name of the game is to keep your eye on the ball. Watch as the ball clearly goes inside the pocket. I know what some of you are thinking. It's that ball. It's a little small, kind of hard to keep your eye on it. I'll make you all a deal. If I were to use a larger ball, remember the signature of my cousin Bob? If I use a larger ball, what would happen to his signature?
Rubbed off.
Bigger.
Oh, it gets a lot bigger. Yeah, that's why baseball is so much like magic. At least that's what my cousin Bob says. Yeah. Actually, though, and you can wave the pennant again because you're in total shock right now.
We are.
But that's why my cousin says that baseball is so much like magic. But the funny thing is that my cousin isn't the only one that says that. So does the entire 1993 Cubs team.
Oh,
Yes.
my God.
Oh, wow.
Now, the hard part is how do I get him back in there? Guys, I want to thank you very, very much. It's been an absolute pleasure performing for you. Please enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you.